Hey, stranger.
How you doing?
Good. How was your Christmas?
Good over here.
It's okay. I don't think anybody is in lab today. I could be wrong, but yeah, the door is locked, so I don't think anybody's here. Even though it's not technically a holiday. They get Monday off for New Year's. Wrong key, sorry. Yeah, so I think I'm here by myself today, which is good because I can talk to you guys more. This is the machine I'm using to cut my brains. So I'm just going to set the machine for me. So I just set the machine for me, and I'm about to put my brains inside the machine so they can come back down to temperature. And then probably grab lunch. Hey, Andy.
Hello.
How you been?
Good.
One of our texts. So I'm just gonna go in the freezer and get my brains out so I can put them in the thing. So this is my box that has my rat brains in it that I'm about to cut so that I can process the tissue and see if my experiment worked and all of that blase stuff. So I'll show you guys that those are the rats we work with. So like I said, this is the machine brains, and they're just like individually wrapped in aluminum foil. So I'm gonna leave them in the machine for about 20 minutes while I eat lunch so that they can come back down to temperatures. So this is my office. Somebody's here. I don't know who's here, but there's 5 of us that share this office. So that's what it looks like. And this is my desk. My junky desk. And that's what my desk looks like. So I am finally done eating and relaxing and chilling, and I'm really about to get to these brains and get it over with. So at this point I'm just grabbing all the things I'm gonna need, like this slide box to put all the tissue in once I'm done. I don't like this chair. Let's get a better chair. So this is, I guess, what my lab looks like. This is where we process the slides, the microscope, keep the microscope covered, the lab computer. We keep the microscope covered to keep the dust out. The machine that I'm working on today is called the Cryostat. It allows you to cut things that are frozen and keep that at that frozen temperature and slice them really, really thin. So this is what the lab is looking like. That area, that's my bench. I work with radioactive materials, so I usually have my own bench since I'm pretty much the only one that does it consistently. So in here, in this little chamber, you see my box of brains. Where are they back there? So, they look like this. And inside the let me try that. So inside of the box is a brain that looks like that. So that's just one half of a rat's brain. How was your trip? So I am starting to cut my brains. So I'll show you guys what that looks like. So this is the setup that I use. This here is half of a rat brain. This is the chamber. This little thing here is the blade. Those are my other brains back there. Those are slides that I'm going to put the tissue in. That's another brain for when I get ready for it, and aluminum foil to put it back in. So when I push this down, it's going to cut off a little small piece that looks like that, which you can't see. So I'm going to put this down. And turn the handle to cut the piece off. And inside of there is a tiny small piece of brain. And with that little piece of brain, take a slide like this. And I'm going to pick it up and put it on the slide. So I'll come back and show you guys when I've done a couple. So just wanted to come back and show you guys what it looks like. So this is the slide with the piece of tissue on it, and that's still the brain. So every time I turn the wheel, it cuts it on that thin little blade, and I have to pick it up on this without touching it because it's so thin and it's cold, so it'll melt. So I can try to show you how it's done, but it's hard to move the iPad and do it. So I turn the wheel and it cuts it. And so I have to use the brush to pick it up because it'll melt on my finger. Excuse me if you hear my phone in the background. And pull it over to the side. Take that, take it down, and pick it up, and make sure it's flat on there. So that's basically what I do. And once I get all four on there, I melt it on my wrist, and then it looks something like this. And then I'll mark it and I'll put it in a box and put it in the freezer until I'm ready to use it. So this is typically what I do once I need to process my tissue. Okay guys, I'm back. I am done for today. I am tired. So what you see here are the slices from I think 4 of the brains that I did. So that's what they look like in the box. And that's the one I just finished in there. So I need to clean out the chamber. So I'm going to show you guys what ultimately happens to those things. So once I'm done with all my brains, I'll come over here into this little thing over here, and I'll stain them to figure out where exactly in the brain did I inject my drug inside of them. And so they'll end up being, I don't know how good you can see that. They'll be slightly stained, a purplish tint to look like that. And on there, I don't know how good this is gonna pick up, but there's usually a really dark purple spot. It's hard to see on camera, but trust me when I say there's a purple spot on here somewhere. And with that purple spot, that tells me where on the brain that I actually injected. So then I'll mark it off on this sheet for that particular rat. It's based upon the Rat Brain Atlas. So I'll show you guys the area that I'm interested in. So it actually looks like this, although this is magnified so you can see this much clearer. But the area that I'm aiming for is here, and it's called the prelimbic area, and I don't know how much detail you guys. So that section that you just saw actually looks like this when it's magnified. But anyways, like I said, it's the prelimbic area of the PFC, which is the prefrontal cortex. I don't know how into detail you guys want me to go into explaining my project, but if you're interested, I could explain it into detail. So these are some of the previous animals that I've already done and already labeled and everything. So they'll look like that when I'm done. But that's not like actually my work. That's just to tell me if I was in the right area or not. And so I'll show you what I do next that actually is based upon my experiments. I'll be back. So from those slides that you saw, I go on to treat them with isotope, which labels that part of the brain. And is this all plugged up? It labels that part of the brain, and then from there I get something that looks like this, in which you can see the pieces from each rat brain. And so you see something like this that's really, really light, so that rat might have gotten saline, versus this right here that got cocaine because it's really, really dark. So the area of the brain that I'm looking at and what I'm labeling is called ARC. It's an immediately early gene, so any type of activity that somebody does, that is the first thing that is activated. So these are rats that had previously had either cocaine or saline, and then they went through, so like I was saying, they either had cocaine or saline, and then they went through they got an infusion of a solution. And I can go into details if you want, but this is just in general. So they got infused with a drug following their self-administration of the cocaine or the saline. And then they were put on 6 days of forced abstinence, in which they were put back into their cage. And sorry, trying to put this back. Anyways, like I said, so then they were put back into their cage for 6 days, and after those 6 days, 1 day later, they were put back. They were put back into the chamber that they previously got drugs in, and so I'm going to show you guys what that looks like.